Hey, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my channel in any way, shape, or storm. I'm Storm. Hope you're doing all right. I just wanted to hop on real quick and make a quick kind of little ranty video about Amber Lynn Reid's Instagram Q&A, a specific portion that was about her IQ and IQ in general, and Taylor Swift's IQ and stupidity like that. I know this topic is probably old and everybody's moved on and people are more interested in beauty, but for one, I was at work when this was all going down, so I didn't have time to make a video. Oh, hey, Javon, my cat, sorry. Two, I can't watch foodie beauty, bleh, because I don't know, it's too much, it's way too much. Anyways, so I went on to Google and I took notes, 3 pages of notes on IQ. So let's start off. Somebody asked her on her Q&A, what do you estimate to be your IQ level? And she answered, whenever I take an IQ test, I usually get like 135 to 145. So, first off, what exactly is IQ? I feel like IQ is something we take for granted that everybody knows, oh, it's just your intelligence, right? But IQ is short for intelligence quotient. It's a measure of a person's reasoning ability. It's supposed to gauge how well someone can use info and logic to answer questions or make predictions. So that's what IQ is, intelligence quotient. What's an IQ test? Obviously, a test that gauges your IQ. Now, as with anything, you cannot get an actual answer, or an accurate answer, I should say, unless you go to a professional and have them test you professionally. So I was just curious. I was like, so when you take an IQ test online, what test is used? And I couldn't find a straight answer because apparently there are a bunch of different IQ tests. So I parsed through and I found 3 that are the most commonly used and trusted and reliable tests that are issued by professionals so that you can know what your IQ is. So in Amber's answer, where she said, whenever I take an IQ test, right off the bat, we know that her answer of 135 to 145 is crap because a BuzzFeed article IQ test or whatever means nothing. Anyways, so the top 3 most common IQ tests, and I wrote down my sources, so you can't just say that I just did a simple scroll. We'll talk about that more in a second. I didn't just do a little simple scroll and find the first thing that I found. You know what I mean? So, number 1, on IQtestprep.com, we have the Stanford Binet test. Is considered the first intelligence test. Alfred Binet, the creator's goal was to help identify children who needed specialized help. It produces only a single general intelligence score. One of the most commonly used, the average score is 100 with a standard deviation of 16. The scores are calculated from 5 factors: visual, spatial processing, quantitative reasoning, fluid reasoning, knowledge, working memory, and a scale based on the taker's age. So those 5 factors and including age. Did that make sense? All right. So our scale, we have our bottom tier at low is 80 to 89. Average is 90 to 109. Above is 120 to 129. And genius, gifted, superior is 145 to 160. Try to keep these in mind. Hopefully, maybe I'll put like a scale here on the side. I don't know, some visual. Anyways, our next test, so that was the Stanford Binet test. The next test, I did some research on verywellmind.com. We have the Wechsler's test. Now this test is designed to test older children and adults. It was made to address the weaknesses of the Stanford Binet test. It provides a number of different scores encompassing the taker's overall strengths and weaknesses. Most trusted of all the tests, it compares the scores of the test taker to the scores of others in their general age group. The average score is fixed at 100 and uses a standard deviation of 15. So, again, we have below is 80 to 89, average 90 to 110, above 111 to 120, and superior genius above yada yada 121 and above, right? So that's the Wechsler test. Next, we have, I found on classroom.com, the Cattle Culture Fair 3 test is designed to test intelligence while avoiding bias towards Western students. Along with the Wechsler, it is used as a qualification for Mensa, which is a high IQ society. It's the largest and oldest IQ society club gang in the world. The Cattle scale places average at 100 and uses a standard deviation of 24 in its scoring to provide a more accurate assessment of scores that are farther from 100. So for this one, below would be 90, average is 100 to 119, above is 120 to 130, and genius is 160 and above. So keeping these tests in mind, let's go back to what Amber said on Instagram. When someone said, what do you estimate to be your IQ level? Whenever I take an IQ test, I usually get like 135 to 145. So again, she didn't say what test she took. She didn't say, oh, I went on this website and took this test or whatever. So I'm just going to taking her score and putting it to the 3 tests that I just told you about. She is in the genius superior above range, right? We know that. We know how numbers work. Right. Okay, so next up, somebody said average IQ is 85 to 115. About 1% have an IQ of 135 or more. Genius begins at 140. And she answered back, you did a simple Google search and chose the first thing it said. This info is incorrect. If you scroll down and do some reading, you'll learn that 160 is genius level. So I stopped on this question and answer, statement and answer, and it really irked me. Because I was like, you're smuggling, oh, you barely did any research. The actual thing is this. Actually, Amber, I am here to tell you, no, the actual thing is not just that. Technically, that person is correct, and you are correct. But you're only correct on a base level. Why didn't you do some research and show them, hey, well, on this scale, it's this, or, you didn't say what scale you used. You know what I mean? So it just bugged me how she was like condescending this person. Does that make sense? She said it in a way to make that person feel dumb, when in reality, based on what she said back to them, she didn't do any deeper reading herself. I didn't like that. Because look, okay, so on IQ classification, Wikipedia. Wikipedia. Hey, look, I'm giving you all the information I found. So we have highly gifted, 145 to 160. Profoundly gifted, 180. There you go. 160 is in that, but also mildly gifted, 115 to 129. Either way, that person's right about genius level starting at 140 as a baseline average. Come on. All right. Next we have healthline.com. Most people have an IQ between 85 and 115. This is a 68% of people have that IQ. Only a small fraction have either a low, below 70, or high, above 130. The average IQ in the US is 98. So here you go. That must have been what that person found was on healthline.com. Next up, we have verywellmind.com. Medically reviewed by David Sussman, PhD. So you can't say that I'm just pulling this out of nowhere. A PhD guy reviewed this, okay? He says 95% fall within 2 standard deviations between 70 and 130. So, yeah. This person's not wrong. Why are you condescending them like that? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Anyways, so moving on, somebody tells Amber Taylor Swift had an IQ of 144. Star eyes, right? Star eyes emoji. And she says back, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I should have did a better job categorizing my notes, but I'm just doing this off the dome. Okay, forgive me. So they say Taylor Swift had an IQ of 144. Star eyes emoji. She answers back, since she's skinny, blonde, and beautiful, y'all are gonna believe her. But since I mispronounce words due to anxiety and I'm morbidly obese, 135 is far-fetched. Oh, okay, nice. And again, I paused on this because it bugged me. Like, what are you talking about? Why did you bring in these physical now I can't speak. Why did you bring in these physical characteristics that have nothing to do with mental ability? In those things about the in those explanations about each test that I read to you, did any of that say anything about physical attributes? No, it didn't. So why did you bring it up? These people who were talking about IQ before didn't say anything about you being morbidly obese and how that impacts your IQ. So why did you bring up why Taylor Swift, someone who has struggled with anorexia, why did you say that her skinniness has something to do with her mental abilities? You don't want people to do that to you, so why did you do that to Taylor Swift, right? Make that make sense to me. What's with the projection? Because that's what it is. Nobody brought it up. You bringing it up for no reason. You're projecting. You think that your physical attributes have something to do with your mental and cognitive abilities. And that's not true. I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan, right? So I did a little Googling about Taylor Swift, and I found these little tidbits. Taylor Swift had a 4.0 GPA, and despite being homeschooled, I say despite being homeschooled because I know there are issues that people face when they're homeschooled. It's a little trickier than going into the secular school system. I know this because I had some friends who are homeschooled, and they've told me about some of the struggles that they had, like being motivated and, homeschool problems. But Taylor Swift finished her last 2 years of school in 1 year while starting a music career. That's pretty, I'd say that's pretty impressive, right? She never went to college, but she has an honorary doctorate of fine arts from NYU. I don't think they just give honorary doctorates to people because they're pretty or skinny or blonde or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There were several articles. I didn't read through all of them, and I didn't write down a bunch of stuff because I ran out of time on my lunch break. But there were a bunch of articles talking about Taylor Swift's lyrical genius, how her lyrics really talk to people, and, how the way that she writes music shows that she's obviously intelligent. The way she conducts herself in interviews and stuff, she has intelligence. It's not because she's pretty. It's not because she's blonde or skinny or whatever that gives credence to her 144 IQ score. Now, I have to say a little disclaimer. I don't know who tested her. I couldn't quite find that anywhere. So I'm just how Amber Lynn is saying that she has this score, I'm going to say, yeah, sure, Taylor Swift has this score. Why not? So it just, I don't know. I didn't like that. Oh, and another point. So I was like, well, who else has a score around Amber Lynn, and who else has a score around Taylor Swift? So I have Arnold Schwarzenegger, his 135 IQ score. Yeah, sure. I don't see any problem with that. I wonder what Amber would say that, oh, well, yeah, he would have that score because he's a man or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Now I'm projecting. But, okay, so next up we have Emma Watson, 132. Do you think she has that score just because she is pretty or skinny or whatever? How about Warren Buffett? His IQ score is 145. That was at the top of Amber's range, right? Doesn't he have a bunch of money? I don't really know who Warren Buffett is, all right? I'm pretty sure he's really rich, right? Anyways, next we have Oprah Winfrey, 141. I believe it because of the way Oprah carries herself. And I mean, like, there's nothing physical about Oprah that I could say that I'd be like, there's no way she could have that IQ. You know what I mean? Beyonce, she has an IQ of 136. Again, Amber, what would you say to discredit Beyonce's IQ? Snoop Dogg, 147. What would you say to him? What would you say to any of the people that I just listed? Look, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter what your IQ is, but like, I believe that all these people have their IQ score is this high or whatever. And sure, I could believe yours is that high. However, my friend, you're on YouTube and we have video evidence of your... let's just put it the way Apathetic Facts put it. We have video evidence of your top 140 IQ moments, right? The way those people present themselves and purport themselves compared to the way that you purport yourself, there's a discrepancy there. It has nothing to do with physical attributes, all right? So I don't think it's right for you to condescend that person for giving you information and you saying, oh, you only did a simple search, when apparently, obviously you did too, because if you have more than a simple search, you would have had 3 pages of notes like I did. You know? I don't know why I just tossed my notes. I still need them. All right. So next up, I just want to end on this note where somebody said, people really can't handle the fact that you are intelligent and not what they want you to be. And she replies, I'm definitely not intelligent, but you're right that people just want me to be the person they want me to be and not actually who I truly am. Again, that just sounds like projection again. Because if you really truly wanted to put yourself forward as intelligence, if you wanted to truly put yourself forward as intelligent and having this really high genius IQ score or whatever, look, I'm just going to say it. You wouldn't forget these easy words. You wouldn't, just like in the Apathetic Facts video. And I feel like that's the best example of why people don't believe that you are intelligent. You know? I mean, I just got to put it out there bluntly. That's why people don't believe it. Because of examples like in that video. So, you know, I don't understand. I feel like really the thing that I don't get is why would you say 135 to 145? I tried to take one of those. I was trying to take a reliable IQ test, but every single one that I took, I had to pay for the results. And I was like, man, forget that. I have bills coming up this week. I can't waste it on this stupid IQ test. So I don't know what mine is. But I'm sure it would be average, right? If you wanted people to not pick at you about this whole IQ thing, why didn't you just put an average? What's wrong with just being average? You know, there's nothing wrong. And then it is not high IQ to go and pick at Taylor Swift and just say, oh, she dehumanized Taylor Swift and just say, oh, you only think she's smart because of these things. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I feel like I'm losing my mind here. It might be a sign to end the video. But anyways, like I said, I just wanted to just share this research that I did about IQs. Because, I don't know, I kind of focus on one point and I go and research it up. And then now I'm stuck with this knowledge about a freaking Wechsler test. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me just put it out there and share it. People probably don't care anymore, but whatever. It's okay. It is what it is. So I hope you found this video interesting. I'm going to try to do better and, you know, make interesting content. Please let me know what you think down below. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.